All right, so I did just want to talk about Craig Spider Richards' return to action, which was last weekend against a guy called Boris Crighton, and the potential of Craig Spider Richards fighting on this Matchroom versus Queensberry show in June against Anthony Yarde. Obviously, Craig Spider Richards is a Matchroom fighter and Anthony Yarde is a Queensberry fighter. So first of all, the performance against Boris Crighton. Now, Richards has been out the ring for a very long time, hadn't fought since May 2022, so nearly 2 years, and they put him in against the guy who was very stubborn. Now, Boris Crighton had lost 4 fights going in. If we have a look at Boris Crichton's BoxRec page here, he's now 12-5, and 2 of the losses are by stoppage. But he proved to be more stubborn than his record suggested he may be. He was able to land a lot of shots clean on Craig Spider Richards, particularly the right hand, occasionally the left hook. And he was right in the fight as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what the commentators were saying, but from what I was watching, he was right in the fight. He was giving Richards plenty of problems. I mean, Richards was maybe shading a lot of the rounds, but there wasn't much in it. He managed to stop Crichton in the end, right? He took him out in the 7th round. It was only a 10-rounder. As far as Spider Richards fighting Anthony Yarde, it's a good fight. I would much rather see Anthony Yarde fight Joshua Buatsi, but because Joshua Buatsi is with Boxer and not with Matchroom, then that obviously wouldn't be happening on the show on June 1st. Would I give Spider much of a chance against Anthony Yarde? I'd be picking Yarde in the fight. Spider can move. He's a good fighter. He's proved himself tough, but I think Yarde will be a bit too strong for him. And obviously Yarde's got those experiences fighting the likes of Kovalev and Artur Beterbiev. Also Lyndon Arthur, because Spider Richards can be a bit of a mover at times. I mean, he wasn't moving that much against Crichton, but, Crichton's a lower level opponent. But certainly in many of his other fights earlier on in his career, he can be a bit of a mover. Anthony Yarde fought Lyndon Arthur, who's a mover, and he learned how to deal with movers properly in the rematch he had with Lyndon Arthur. He didn't allow him to get on his bike and get in his groove. He jumped on him, opened up, and took him out. I don't think Yarde would necessarily be able to do that against Richards. Could be wrong. I suspect Richards will give him a tougher challenge than that. But yeah, I'd side with Anthony Yarde in the fight. To me, it's not as interesting a fight as the Joshua Buatsi fight would be. That's just my take on it. But it's still a decent one. Again, Craig Spider Richards, 18-3 with 1 draw. 11 of his wins are by knockout. Anthony Yarde has also had 3 defeats, right? He lost to Kovalev, lost to Beterbiev, and also lost to Lyndon Arthur. So I guess you could say they're at similar stages of their careers. Craig Spider Richards and Anthony Yarde, they've both fought for the world title before. I think they're a very similar age. Richards is 33, Yarde is in his early 30s as well. But Yarde is still, on the UK light heavyweight scene, the cash cow. He's the guy that generates all the money. He's got the sponsorships. He's the most well-known of the UK light heavyweights, even more so than Joshua Buatsi, who's an Olympian. So Richards will be over the moon, I think, if he manages to get the Anthony Yarde fight on that Saudi show. He'll probably get the biggest payday he's ever had in his career, even bigger than what he was paid against Dimitri Bivol, I would imagine. So yeah, I'm sure he would be happy to go for that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you disagree with me? Do you think that Craig Spider Richards can actually beat Anthony Yarde, or will actually beat Anthony Yarde? I give him a chance. I just make Anthony Yarde the favorite. So yeah, let me know what you guys think.
Are you sick and tired of the mainstream mindset? Does the dogmatic conformity and pathological ignorance have you tearing your hair out in frustration? Then don't be alone. Come and join our brotherhood on Patreon. We stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. You'll gain access to my weekly topical podcast, where we take more deep dives than Jacques Cousteau on an endless variety of subjects. There's also videos, interviews, live Q&As, as well as a vast back catalogue of previous episodes, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen via the Patreon app or download in high-quality MP3. Connect with myself and hundreds of other members in our Element chat group. There's no contract, no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a Mickey D's McMuffin. Just head to my Patreon page via the link below this video and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. I'll see you over there.